Hey guys, so today I was looking at upgrading my RAM on my Dell 7010 compact mini PC. It's currently sitting on 12 gigabytes. I can quickly show you this on the about page in settings. So if you currently see right now, I'm currently sitting at 12 gigabytes of RAM. Of usable RAM is 11.9 gigabytes, and I was going to upgrade it by putting another 4 gigs, which would use all 4 slots and make it 16 gigs of RAM. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do this, so stay watching. So guys, before we start opening up the PC, we need to make sure that it's disconnected from any power supply. As you can see, I've done that. And you need to make sure that all the ports are empty, as you'll be removing some of the front plates. So you need to make sure that all the ports are empty so that it doesn't cause any obstruction before we start. It just makes it easier. So as you can see, I've got a few things in my ports, USB ports, so I'm just removing those. Okay, and just double check that you've got nothing in the back. As you can see, mine's all clear. So let me just turn this around. Okay, so with my PC build, it's quite easy to open it. It's got a latch, pull up, put that heat plate to one side. So now when we look at the inside, so as you can see with the inside, you've got your CD drive, hard drive underneath, your power supply, you've got your small fan here, then you've got your motherboard fan and your motherboard underneath. We've also got a graphics card input slots here, which I don't have any graphic cards as I don't play games on mine. So first thing you need to do is remove the CD drive. So the RAM is right at the bottom, but it's not too complicated to remove. Honestly, it's not. So to remove the CD drive, you need to first disconnect these two power lines. So you can first pull out the CD drive. It just comes out. You pull out this, and that frees up the CD drive. Fairly straightforward. And these two other wires, most PCs have these. They're the connections, so just remember what they are. So I normally move them to one side. So next, we need to remove the hard drive. So to remove the hard drive, you need to remove the front plate of the PC. So to do this, there's clips on the inside that you need to lift. So these little black clips. So there's 3 of these. You just pull them up and you'll release the front plate. And there you go. That's the front plate removed. Hence why you had to remove the USB ports. So it's just the front. There's the fan. You can also clean this while you're doing it. So next is removing the hard drive. So to remove the hard drive, again there's a latch. There's a latch just down here. You need to unlock the latch. So you slide forward, and now it's in the unlock position. Let me see if I can show you that more clear. So just behind these wires, this here. So it's locked and unlocked. Okay, so then connected to the actual CD drive. It's a bit dark. Let me see if I can show you more clearly. There's 2 wires. You just pull these out. That's one. and that's here. So they're there for the RAM. Keep them again to one side. As you can see, with this I can upgrade also to a SSD, so there's an extra port, so I can mount an SSD onto my hard drive. So once you've removed that, simply just pulling up the hard drive. Just needs a bit of movement. And there we have the hard drive. So the hard drive is just in here. You can just slide it out, push these two clips in if you ever wanted to upgrade the hard drive. I'm going to be adding an SSD drive, so I'll be uploading another video for that. And then you can mount an SSD drive at the bottom. So that's the hard drive. Let's put that to one side. Okay, so now we have the RAM. So here are the RAM. As you can see, I've got 3 on the inside. I've upgraded by adding another one here. So the RAM I'm using is here from this brand. I bought these RAMs for around £10 each from eBay. They used refurbished from a PC sellers. I haven't had generally any issue, and I've done this for other PCs. So just open these out. Just be wary of how you touch the RAM. Try not to touch any of the connector pins. You don't want to get any grease. Pull the RAM out. So now, as you can see, you've got a long part and a short part of the pin connectors. You just need to match it to the actual base. It's quite straightforward. You'll see it on the inside, so you need to make sure. So you need to make sure with these base, there's pins on either side, a white one and a black one, here and here. So you just need to pull these pins up, like so. Let me just show you zoomed out. So you literally just pull up, like so. And then when inserting the RAM, the pin should just push itself back in it if you press firmly enough. Don't apply too much pressure because you might break the RAM or break the actual board itself. So just push in gently, but with some firmness. So just make sure that it lines in correctly. Like so. And then I need to push down, and you should hear a click once I've pushed. There's one click. And that's 2 click. So now I've got all 4 RAMs put in. We just need to put everything back together. So while we're in here, if you did want to upgrade your motherboard chip, you need to remove these 4 screws. You would also need to replace the thermal paste that's on the motherboard chip every time you open this. So every time you open this up, you would need to replace a thermal paste. But yeah, so let's just put everything back together. Putting it back together is pretty much straightforward. Get the hard drive first. You need to align the hard drive lock with the lock in here. So I'm going to flip mine around. It's quite easy. A lot of PCs are like this. They're quite straightforward unless you get heavy water-cooled gaming PCs. I'm just upgrading more for work purposes. This does everything I need. So there you go. It lines up with these 2 holes. And then it's again in the locking position. I can just lock it now. And it's in. So now I need to plug these back into the hard drive. Okay, let me pause. So just plug them in. Once they're plugged in, get the CD drive. Make sure it's all clicked in correctly. So to slide the CD drive in, just put it flat, make sure it's in nicely, and then click it in place so that release tab is clicked in. Now you just need to plug these in. These are straightforward, much easier to put in than the hard drive. Again, the hard drive is not hard at all. That's one. And then get the red connector. And then get the red connector. And that should just go in. There we have everything's put back together. Just put the faceplate on. Just align the faceplate. Make sure the bottom half goes in first. There's little pulled clips. You just need to line that up. And then click it in place. And we're back. Then you just close the lid. Hear the clip go on. And we are done.